Hello all, and welcome to this week's beer review. It's kind of an odd beer review. So, this is a beer I've been drinking for a while, decades literally. I thought I reviewed it at some point in my career, but apparently I haven't. I don't know how I overlooked it. And I'm going to dub this beer review the, um, anchovies beer review. I went and bought anchovies because I really wanted an anchovy sandwich. I like anchovies. But anyways, the beer that I'm going to be reviewing is from Kona Brewing Company here in Hawaii, part of the Craft Brewers Association. I'm not sure if I can't remember if Anheuser-Busch or AB InBev, I guess is what it is now, still partially owns the Craft Brewers Association, and thus still partially owns um, you know, Kona Brewing Company. But yeah, this is one of their flagship beers. It's been around since forever. And I'm going to just read the back here so you get that background. Go with the flow. Fire Rock Pale Ale was one of Hawaii's first craft beers brewed in 1994. It's bright and lively like the lava that flows down from Kilauea to the ocean, raising the island from the sea with each fiery rock. Hence, lava rock. Oh, sorry, fire rock. Now, I've reviewed like almost 20 Kona Brewing Company beers, including some fairly narrow releases, that were one-offs. And so I kind of find it funny that, I haven't reviewed one of their mainstays. But I guess I have to go through my, you know, um, my archives here and kind of find out what beers that I can easily get. Well, other than macro lagers, I haven't reviewed a whole bunch of macro lagers. I'll get to those if I really start getting desperate for either A, content, or B, cheap beers to just fill content with. But yeah, this is about $12 for a sixer. It's 5.8 ABV, so kind of on the heavy side for a pale ale. And the Beer Advocate thing has a little bit more information here, and I'm just going to read that off for you now. Fire Rock Pale Ale is crisp, refreshing Hawaiian-style pale ale. Its signature copper color results from the unique blend of specialty roasted malts. The pronounced citrus floral hop aroma comes from the liberal amounts of Galena, Cascade, and Mount Hood hops added to each brew. So, yeah. So it's kind of darker than I'm kind of used to for most American pale ales. And this was brew date on this is January 12th, 2024. So still fairly fresh. Um, just a little over 2 months old. Okay, let's just go and pour this out already. Should give that a little bit more of a vigorous pour there. So, a clear, almost amber color with a frothy off-white head. Smells of pine, citrus. Underneath that, crackery malts. Pretty nice visible carbonation there. And it might just be me rhapsoding poetically, but there's almost like wet rock smell. Just a subtle smell of wet lava rock, which actually is not very appropriate because when it rains on like lava, it's it has a very distinct smell. It's not a bad smell, it's just a strong smell. maybe slightly sulfurous. I don't know. Onto the palate now, shall we? Up front, hop bitterness, balanced by bready to crackery malt flavor. Goes into an almost grapefruit citrus zest on the finish. A light sweetness emerges in the mids, but is mostly cleared in the finish. Not too expressive a top note, really. Um, just a sort of combination, light combination of the hops and malting there in the top note. Nothing that really pops out, and pretty much the same as what you're getting on, the bouquet and palate note as well. Don't know why it's popping, not popping. I mean, this is fairly fresh. It should pop a little bit more up there. All in all, I've kind of like pretty much stated all the taste notes. The American Pale Ale style. It's one of those very bare bones styles. A very basic style. It's wider than a lot of basic styles in that it can encompass a lot more territory. Compared to say like a Pilsner or say an American Amber Ale. You know, Particularly with like coloration. Coloration will always be all over the place. And despite the use of dark malts, darker malts than most pale ales, I kind of noticed that it doesn't really have too much roast on the palate. Or should I say toast on the palate. Yeah, I mean, it's refreshing. I do wish that it was a bit more expressive in the top note. I always find that when you get those notes up here in your nose, it's always far more sharp and distinct than what it really goes and brings out the palate and everything else a bit more. Part of it might be just like it's a little bit too cold, or part of it just might be how I'm feeling today. I don't feel particularly stuffed up, but some days I'm a little bit off. Today might be one of my off days. But just for this particular review, I'm not getting too much in the top note. So with all things, your mileage may vary, even from day to day. And it's amazing how long it took me to kind of like figure that out. Too long, really. Anyways, if you're in Hawaii, give this one a shot. It's really easy to find in Hawaii. It's easy to find on the West Coast as well. Um, I mean, as a pale ale, it's solid enough. It's not like my favorite. That would probably be Red Chair from the Shoots. Though, if I'm going to be absolutely honest, the pale ale that I hit up the most is, of course, Sierra Nevada. I mean, it's everywhere. It's easily had. It's usually pretty fresh, and you know, it it's you can't go wrong with that. But this is not bad at all, and give it a shot. I'm not going to turn it down if it's available. I have to say though, it's not their strongest. I mean, Kona's my favorite Kona beer that I return to again and again is their golden ale. I mean, there's nothing like a stovepipe of their golden ale, you know, after a shitty day at work. Um, or I guess I should just say a day at work because all my days at work are pretty shitty. Uh, I hate my job. But yeah, you know, but while not on the same level, this is decent enough. Give it a shot. And that, folks, is your beer review for this afternoon. Cheers.